The Palestinian lawyers and legal scholars are utterly brilliant, and that would be a huge mistake to underestimate them. They are fantastic adversaries, number one. Number two, of course, as we heard, to always be mindful of the audience and the reaction of the audience to what the audience might perceive as arrogance or that sort of thing. And I've read many of the fantastically brilliant Israeli filings, pleadings filed in the International Criminal Court and the ICJ, and they are always very respectful, very scholarly, and so I commend the Ministry of Justice for the quality of the lawyering on paper, and I commend the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the quality of the public legal advocacy. I think the third thing that's really important, though, and that's why I wrote these two books, is to appreciate the historical context and to approach the legal arguments from the standpoint of what has happened historically and how that history is relevant to today. We heard about 1967 and the very important change in approach in 1967. What I think is an important point that we could debate, all of us, but I think it's an important point for lawyers today to keep in mind if you're on the Israeli side, is that in the original PLO charter, May 25th or so, 1964, and I have all the background documents. I found them on my most recent trip to the archives a few months ago. Ahmed Shukeri was very careful in Article 24 of the original PLO charter in 1964 to disclaim Palestinian sovereignty in the West Bank and Gaza. I think that's a dramatically important document, a dramatically important thing for lawyers today to remember. And again, we can debate this. My conclusion in my second book is, and it's ironic because of the Palestinian reliance on the law today, but I think the Palestinian legal case for statehood, for sovereignty, is far weaker than the Palestinian moral and political case for statehood and sovereignty. Following decades of Palestinian renunciation and rejection, the Appeal Commission offered the two-state solution. The White Paper of 1939 offered the one-state solution. The UN Special Committee and the UN Ad Hoc Committee in 1947 again offered the two-state solution. Every solution was met with rejection by the Mufti, and then in 1964, the Palestinians themselves in their founding document said, we're not asserting sovereignty over the West Bank and Gaza. The Palestine that the PLO wanted to liberate then was the state of Israel from Zionist control. And so my own conclusion is that that history of rejection and renunciation amounts to waivers. Of course, they can change their mind. They have every right to, as they've done. But that doesn't mean that those waivers lack historical and legal significance today. That's just one example.